No one's here yet. Okay, so I'm finally back home. I'm so sorry, guys. I did try my best to stream from inside the protest, as you saw. It was really, really hard. Like, it's hot and my battery died. And there was literally no 4G reception. The Wi-Fi wasn't working there. So it was a struggle. Like, it was a struggle. And because I was there with my friends, like, I don't know, I just sort of wanted to, like, I was there with a friend that I hadn't seen for 4 years. You know, I don't know if you've seen the coverage, but, you know, the speeches and things like that, it's way too much of a squish to start streaming. But it was good. It was good. I don't know. It's encouraging. And I don't believe, like, I read some of my other live chats. I don't believe it's anything to do with American people as a whole, because English people, Irish people, American people, Canadian people, like, we love each other. Like, for fuck's sake, we go to each other's countries, like, all the time. I mean, most American people I know are of Irish descent or English descent. So, you know, it's not about that. So, I don't know, I got some messages like that, and that's not what it's about. It's not like a patriotic, nationalistic kind of protest. It's just a protest. To be honest with you, and some of you might not like this, I wanted to walk. I walked in the second protest, which was the Palestine section. So that's kind of where my interest lies. I don't know. Hey, Jala. Hey, how are you? Sorry, anyway, sorry guys. I did hope it would be better and I could have like way more footage and stuff like that, but everyone was using Wi-Fi and Twitter, and a lot of mainstream media were there, and shit, like when stuff like that happens, the 4G, the 3G, like the network just gets clogged up. If you think you've got 200 to 300,000 people in one place, you know, it was difficult. But I tried to get as much as I could. I've got like a lot of videos and pictures, so I'm going to try my best to kind of edit them together to make something. But yeah, it's good. Hey, Ali, how are you? I don't even know if my streams have gone up from the protest, because I've literally only got Wi-Fi now. I had a long, long journey home, like mega long. But I've got a ton of like video and pictures of interesting, what do you call them, banners and placards. So that's really cool. Oh, they are up. Oh, thank you. I don't know what the quality's like. I was there with my friend who's like 6'4", and he could see everything, and I'm like 5'6", 5'7", and I was tiny compared to everyone else. So I don't know. We'll see. But it was good. There was no violence, nothing bad. So if the media says there was violence, there wasn't. The people who usually cause violence in English protests didn't show up, so that's always a plus. But yeah, it's kind of like your usual suspects there, like Socialist Workers Union, various Labour Party things, like women's interest groups. Big group on like chlorine in chicken or something like that. That, I don't know. I didn't know about that, so that's interesting. I mean, if you want to avoid that, just don't eat chicken, I guess. But yeah, mad stuff. But yeah, I mainly wanted to go for kind of the Palestine march. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked at any of the coverage yet, so I don't know what they're saying. Super impressed Corbyn gave a speech. I think that's very impressive because, I mean, he doesn't give a fuck and he can't be bought. So that's good. I don't know. But yeah, to be honest, it finished pretty much about like, I'd say I got out of there about 6:30, 7. And it only took me a little while to get home just because there's like fires and nothing to do with that, just fires on like railway tracks because it's super hot. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it was good. I don't know. Did he leave the UK? Not yet, no. Scotland are having, I believe, a big protest tonight. I mean, I don't think anyone that went to protest believes, oh, we're going to like run him out of the UK, because he's going to be kept away from all of that. He's not going to see like the amount of people out on the streets. Oh, here we go. We've got the gammons coming in now. But he won't be out on the streets, you know. The only thing I'm hoping, if he goes to Scotland and visits that golf course and the people he screwed over there, you never know. I always get like right-wing people coming in, guys. I'm so sorry. It happens. It happens. I'm happy to listen to their point of view if they talk like a normal person. But when they start, you know, calling people names, I just can't be bothered. It just kind of invalidates their point. I don't know. So this person's gonna go. But yeah, it's unreal. Like you go to okay, bye. You go to a protest, not even necessarily about like communism, and suddenly you're a fucking communist. It's unreal. Unreal. But yeah, there was a lot of like really intelligent signs and things like that. I know. But you know, it's fine. I got quite a few. Like, I didn't think I had many viewers, but somehow I had like 10 messages just calling me like every piece of shit under the sun. It's so weird. It's like, hang on, can you not at least watch it? I can get some more views. But yeah, I'm so sorry. I had such good intentions. Like, oh, I got a selfie stick. Oh, I've got my phone. I'm going to be in the crowd, like on the ground. You know, the journalism brain still there, kind of. Didn't happen at all. I could for a bit, and then my 4G would just drop, just because there's like people like RT, Russia Today, BBC, Vice, like they're, you know, they have to power their internet somehow. So I tried using my other phone as like a thing for this. In the end, I thought maybe the best thing to do is just film a video, just of the general vibe of it, and yeah. But the good news is I met like this amazing guy, as in a friend, not a love interest or anything, on the way home. And literally our train was cancelled. Then we got on a bus and our bus got diverted, and it was just like crazy. It was a really weird situation, but he was really cool. That's what I like about these protest type things. Like, whatever side of the fence you're on, whether you're right wing or left wing, if you go to a protest that has elements of something you're interested in, you'll meet people that you'll just naturally gel with because you've got something in common and you give a shit. Like, you give a shit enough to go there. So that's what I love, like, about these things. I've met so many cool people. I met cool people at the student rights here while I was working for my uni on the paper there. But I met really cool people at that. I met cool people when I was in sixth form at, like, we were protesting like the Iraq war here. That is the highest turnout yet. That's 500,000 people, I think, turned out. Did I see the balloon? I did. I saw the balloon. They brought the balloon to Trafalgar Square, which is where all the kind of speeches, things like that were, where Nelson's column is, and like the lines and stuff like that, like the statues of them. And they brought it there, and that was pretty cool. And they're not setting it free though. They're just sort of floating it in the air, bringing it down. I thought they were just going to let him fly free, but no. Hey, Robert Burke, we love you, America. The The thing that worries me is that Americans will see this and think it's something against them. That's what worries me, and that's not the case at all. There was quite a few Americans there, actually. Like a girl I was hanging around with, like she's married to an American. Like there was a few there. Yeah. I guess, I don't know. Like, I don't want to have like political divides with people, but I mean, there's a lot of personal stuff Trump's done in Scotland, done to like English people, and England's very multicultural, as is America. Like, Jesus, America's built by immigrants. Like, but yeah. So the whole immigration here it's especially in London. Like, London's very diverse, and we don't like people, that have ideals of whatever. But yeah. And then the whole feminist point of view of, it's just the whole thing. But yeah, definitely not aimed towards Americans at all. And I'd hate for any American to think that, if that makes sense. But yeah, it was good. It was more about that. I was a bit worried going to it that it would just be like it was anti-Trump, but there was more going on to it than that, if that makes sense. It was like about Palestine, it was about Yemen, and yeah, I don't know. But my friend made a very valid point. It's like, we don't protest Saudi princes when they turn up, and it's kind of true. Like, it made me sad to see that amount of people turn up for Donald Trump when there's a lot of other stuff going on. And I know it was a mix of different issues and women's rights. A lot of people dress up as handmaids, which I thought was amazing. A lot of different issues, but seeing that amount of people and thinking, okay, if we all got together, maybe we could change the way we're represented in the House of Lords. Maybe we could change the way the British are sending our aid money to Yemen, but then selling arms to Saudi Arabia. But none of that gets the press that Donald Trump, I don't know. It's good, and then there's other stuff we should be protesting that we don't. So, anyway, let me read the chat. Very much. If any American has a brain, they'll know it's not against Americans. I know, but there's always... Even, like, I don't want Trump supporters to think it's anti-them, because, listen, I know what it's like. I have a lot of faith in Jeremy Corbyn, which is our opposition leader of Labour. Now, he could get into power. I think he will get into power, but when he gets in there, he could do a 180 and do a Tony Blair. I highly doubt it, because throughout history, he's been on kind of the right side of history. He's always shown integrity. He's never been able to be bought, which is scary, because, I mean, you guys have had that many times with presidents. When someone wants to come in and change things a bit too much, bang, they're gone. That's scary. But, like, I don't know, like, I know what it's like to have faith in a politician. So I kind of get why some Americans would think, yeah, Trump's going to come in, he's going to drain the swamp, he's going to change things. But the problem is, he's from that elitist background. Like, when you're from that background, you have a different set of priorities, and you're in the elite circles, secret societies, whatever the fuck you want to call them. You're in with the Rothschilds, you're in with the Rockefellers of the world. You're all, you're going to want oil prices to stabilize and for it to be paid in dollars and not, you need someone from a humble background, not a skull and bones background, or an elite background, or Eton background, or an Oxford, Cambridge here background. You need someone who's just of the people, And, you know, not to get too ranty, I think it's a fucking travesty what happened to Bernie Sanders. Because, yeah, okay, you might not be left wing, he might be too left wing for you, but at least you've got a choice there. Hillary and Trump, it was like, what the, like, what difference is there in them two, really? Like, I don't, and then like around her, there's all those conspiracies and emails, and you know, and they were friends, and I don't know. I'm a conspiracy nut, so ignore me. But if you guys haven't, watch Jim Mars lectures. Jim Marrs. He's died now, unfortunately, but he made like brilliant lectures on like, I don't want to say the Illuminati because that puts people off, but like secret societies and how it's all kind of set up. And he sort of takes it from Shakespeare's time in England, like this Shakespeare guy. Who was he? He was Francis Bacon, who was shaking a spear at the English people, getting them all to read, getting them to think certain ideas. It goes way back, this shit. Like, and the people that profit from the current system aren't ever going to want things to change. It's too easy. It's too easy for things to stay how they are. Same with England. Should we really have a queen? Like, probably not. But 3,000 people going to go march for a republic? Probably not. 3,000 people going to sit there and watch a royal wedding when the country's in sort of a depression that they're not admitting? Yeah. I don't know. I'm going ranty again. Sorry. But yeah, every time in England, you'll notice every time there's like a depression or a downturn in the country's morale, there'll be a royal wedding. It's fucked. Like, Jesus, like, I'm not saying things are perfect here either. Things are fucked. I'm so sweaty, guys. I felt like, look, I had this bag on and I literally have a mark and a little bit burnt here from like carrying this bag around. But anyway, there was an interesting mix of people, no trouble at all. The anarchist groups didn't turn up and start, you know, doing their things, so that's good. There was dogs there, which was fun. There was so many kids there, like little tiny kids, so cute. So yeah, it was just very, very peaceful. But I'm very interested to see how it will be reported, like what they say. I don't know. Like, how is it being covered in America at all or not? I don't know. Let's have a look. BBC. BBC's awful, but we'll have a look on the BBC site. Okay, so and Melania have gone to Scotland. So I think Scotland are doing their protests now, I think. Which, you know, Scottish people are amazing. Right, politics is so difficult. Like, to even comprehend it, you have to go so far back in history, like pre-Enlightenment. It's nuts. It's nuts. I mean, I don't know. I always forget I have to be careful what I say because I just think, oh, it's just you guys, like, or one or two of you. But when you say things on the internet, they're there forever. And then, yeah. I'd love to know, like, your guys' thoughts, though, and I'd love to know, like, what the coverage of it is. I mean, there's absolutely nothing on the BBC website. Nothing. Which is very, very bizarre. Let's have a look. Don't the royal have have birds changed because of superstition? Yeah, at the Tower of London we have ravens. Don't know if they're chained. They're definitely trained to stay there. They have like keepers and, you know, the guys with like the gloves on. And they say if the ravens leave the tower, London falls down. So I don't know. It's mental, isn't it? It's nuts. Like, what country does shit like that? Bias is here. So the Evening Standard, George Osborne now works, and he was he deputy leader? Yeah, of the Conservative Party, the right wing party here. Yeah, it's so stupid. It's like medieval times. So like superstitious. Okay, Donald Trump London protest news. Nearly 250,000 protesters march against president's visit. See, it kind of wasn't just that. I'd love to be. How do I share my screen? Yeah, so there's about the balloon here. Later, Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn addressed crowds at a rally in Trafalgar Square. That's where your girl was. Am I in? No, I'm not in this picture. Sadiq Khan deserves support, not condemnation. Human rights belong to all of us. That was another big theme. A lot of people. Like, demonstration one of solidarity. When we unite together with common objectives, we can all win. Into the evening, several protesters jumped in the fountain in the centre of the square to cool off, and kids followed suit. I miss that. That's so cute. Very, very peaceful, guys. Okay. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'd like to see that Jeremy Corbyn speech again. Let me play it. You can at least hear the audio. Hi, sorry, I was in a little world of my own, internet coverage. Hey, Andre. Yeah, the House of Lords. And the fucking thing with the House of Lords, whatever government you have in there, this is why it's fucked. They'll try and get as many of their mates in as possible, because basically the House of Lords vote on all the laws and gives like the royal seal of approval. So say you have a Labour government, even Labour will try and get as many Labour lords made as they can to fill up seats in there. And now the Tories are making so many people lords. So, you know, even the House of Lords, it's not representative, and it's all these fucking old men. Like, if you go on a London train and you look around, you'll see like every type of person. In the House of Lords, it's just like old men. Like there's one, I think, woman of colour. I can't remember the statistic, but it's a joke. And they just sit there and they come in like once a month and to collect their paycheck for coming in, and they sit there and they fall asleep. And it's just, you know, all the House of Lords is like who can get as many people as they can made a lord while they're in office, like while their party is running the country. See if your girl's there. We were quite near Corbyn Trump protest. Tell me if you guys think this is boring. You'll probably be able to hear the audio. I don't know how to. Yeah, what a time to be alive. I mean, without getting too like hippy dippy crystal mad witch girl on you, it is the age of Aquarius we're coming into now, and that is meant to be a time when a lot of people wake up. So it seems like no matter what side you are on the spectrum, whether you're right, whether you're left, whether you don't give a fuck, whether you're in the middle, everyone's kind of fucked off with it now. I think normal people all over the world have just had enough of it. Everyone kind of sees through it. Yeah, okay, you might not be a mad conspiracy nut like me, but everyone sees through it. Everyone, I mean, I read a poll about 9/11. Most people now believe 9/11 was an inside thing. They don't believe the Bin Laden narrative. Like, things are kind of shifting, because I remember when 9/11 happened, if you said that to people, they would get so fucking angry at you. Like, you're disrespectful, how dare you? And of course, like, people fucking died there, but for what? Like, all the laws that were snuck in that were rejected before, after that, for your safety. Like, and then suddenly the invasion of Iraq, which, you know, that's little Bush's finishing up daddy's work in Kuwait and all of that. And it's just all so fucking mental. And I think now with the internet and like Twitter and Facebook and YouTube, everyone's sort of seeing what's going on. And that doesn't matter whether you're right, left, or liberal, like, everyone sees it. And is it that it gets to a point in 4 years, in 5 years, where like everyone just goes, okay, worldwide, enough, we're not doing this anymore? Is that, I don't know. Age of Aquarius is a very interesting thing. Like, when you look it up, it's like a worldwide awakening, and it's interesting. It's good for like romance as well. It means like loads of soulmates meet, twin flames, and yeah, it's cool. Same in the US, the two-party system pits the population against one another. Yes, as we fight each other, our rights are rescinded by those who care not for ideology and only seek consolidation of power. So true. Preach. Yeah, shit was rough. Been aware from the early 2000s, right? Like, if you said to someone, what was the it kind of looks like a demolition. People go, no, how fucking dare you? People died there, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, but this does look a bit weird. And this person was flown out of the country, and this thingy's brother was in there like the day before, doing random checks. Like, people would think you're nuts. And I think a few things changed that. I think the Michael Moore documentary, like, he's amazing. And I think that Loose Change documentary, and it just got more and more, I guess, popular to dig under the surface of things. Whereas when you, like, my mum, she's very right wing. I try and explain stuff to her, she does not want to know. She's like, oh, I don't talk to me about all that dark stuff. I'd rather not know. That's the older generation mostly, because I don't know how to explain it. Ignorance is bliss. It's easier. It's nicer to think we live in a world where you've got good guys and bad guys, and that's it. But we don't. We live in a world where you've got good guys, good guys that are bad guys that might have good intentions but are doing the wrong things, and fucking loads of shit in between. And it's confusing and it's dark and you don't know who to trust, and it makes you question reality, and that's fucked when you start doing that. And I'm sure some of you know, once you look into fucking 9/11, you go look into fucking Freemasonry, and then you go look into like who owns the oil companies, and then that leads into a big fucking rabbit hole of the Illuminati, Rothschilds, like, and it's fucked. It's so fucked. I don't know. I don't want to rant too much. I don't want to scare you all away, but I remember after Iraq, one of my really good friends, he's passed now, but he was an amazing journalist. And like me, he got so disillusioned with the media. Like, when you're in a newspaper, the shit they tell you to do and write, and the power plays there, and the lifestyle, and the sexism. And we're talking a left-wing paper here. We're not talking a right-wing paper. And he got so disillusioned, and he said, do you know what? And he got out his atlas and he went, this is where they're going to invade. And it was a pipeline, and he was right. And it was Iraq, Syria. They're going to, basically, you can chart it anywhere there's not a Federal Reserve Rothschild owned bank. So Iraq didn't have one, has one now. Syria didn't have one, has one now. Afghanistan didn't have one, has one now. Left, North Korea's left. Where else? North Korea, Iran, that's kicking off. Not much left. I think Venezuela has one now. It's crazy. It's crazy. But you can literally see where they're going to invade next. Just look for where hasn't got a Federal Reserve controlled by the two most powerful families in the world. Like, it's fucked. Fucked. Anyway, sorry, that was like a fucking big long rant. Andre and Lexi are smart people, so I like listening to people that know a bit more than the average person. I think Andre's very smart. I wouldn't say I'm smart. I just have a lot of time on my hands and go down so many YouTube rabbit holes, like it's unreal. Jet fuel can't, yeah, right? That was the thing. Jet fuel can't melt steam beams. That's the thing. Like, it can't. Like, it physically can't. Anyway, you need to be a bit of a masochist to enjoy diving into the depths of political details at our disposal now. Yeah, and I mean, I'll tell you guys something. When I came out of uni, I went to a very liberal, left-wing arts university, and I was so starry-eyed. And, you know, Hunter S. Thompson was my icon, Tom Wolfe, and all these new journalists. And I came out of that university and, you know, I thought, oh my God, I'm going to be the next Hunter S. Thompson. I'm going to write all this cool stuff and, you know, go on the campaign trail with, like, government and write shit. And when it kind of came to it, all they want you to write is kind of rewrite press releases in their style, the way they like it. And I remember spending when WikiLeaks, when that first happened, I spent about a month on an article. And I mean, I did my head in, going through all this data and documents. And I thought, this is going to be the thing. This is going to be like my break. This is so good. And I gave it to like my left-wing paper I work for. They didn't want to know. And it's when you're so young and you're so idealistic and you realise, shit, even the guys on my side are kind of bad guys in a way. It's just like, what the fuck? And then, you know, Tony Blair standing up there with George W. Bush, like, what's going on? Like, what's happening? This is a Labour meant to be socialist prime minister validating this. And because he wants Britain's cut of the oil. Like, it was fucked. And people died for that. Americans, English, Iraqis died. For what? It's fucked. Anyway, it highlights it. Oh, hi, Kathy. No, it's not an anti-joke. Like, kind of. I went to the protest and I was just talking about how I wouldn't want people to think that it's like an anti-American thing or an anti-Trump supporter thing. It was like all-encompassing of a lot of different issues, like Palestine I marched with, women's rights, human rights, fucking random stuff like chlorine in chicken, a lot of different stuff. But, you know, I would like to hear from someone, if anyone is a Trump supporter, because the Trump supporters I've met, and the same for the right-wing people here in England, they won't talk to a left-wing person. Like, you can't have a proper discussion with them. They're so defensive. And I would just love to sit down and hear what it is. Like, what are the policies you agree with? Like, what is it? The same with people that voted for Brexit here. Like, my mum did. And my mum isn't English. She's Irish. She's from the EU. She's living here. And I was just like, what is going on? You're an immigrant. I'm an immigrant. I was born in Ireland. Like, it fucking blew my mind. And I don't understand it. I can't I just can't understand that way of thinking. Anyway, type that link into YouTube. Okay. Hi, Alison. It's the US General Discussion 7-Nation Invasion Plan. Oh, okay. I think I've seen that one. Is that where he talks about Iraq, Syria, Iran, and it's in order? And it's like all of the countries that don't have a federal reserve, and handily a oil pipeline can go through most of them. Yeah, it's been a crazy day for the for real. It has for real been a crazy day. I just don't want it to get taken the wrong way. I just don't want it spun that it was some patriotic thing and we're so anti-American and we're so proud to be British, because I'm telling you, probably 3/4 of that crowd weren't born in England, as far as I know, or parents weren't. Hey Joshua, oh thank you. Have a good day or night. I'm a little right of centre. I voted for Trump. The alternative was a train wreck. Yeah, I can see that. With that being said, Trump has been a buffoon from time to time, but you believe in him. Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying earlier. I get it, because there's a politician here I believe in, Jeremy Corbyn. I believe in him very much. But I need to be careful how I say this. The thing I can't get my head around, guys, is same with England. And maybe it's because I'm an immigrant. Maybe that's why. I'm an immigrant to this country. I may sound very British, but I'm not British. I don't have a British passport. Unless you're kind of Native American, right? You're not really American. You're an immigrant. America is, like England, a nation of immigration. Like, no one in England, unless you're not even Anglo-Saxons, man, unless you're a Celt or some shit from like fucking thousands of years ago, you're not English. Like, there's this nationalistic shit. I find it really, to me, it borders on racism. In this country anyway. I don't know what it's like in America. Just because everyone's an immigrant in some form or another. How can I explain it? Put it this way. I'm from a very right-wing family here, which is mental because I'm Irish. My mum's Irish. I don't know why they're right-wing. Now, my eldest brother, okay, this I'm probably telling too much. My eldest brother is very left-leaning, but he's very rational. So he's sort of centre-left, you know? And I think it's important. If you have a brain, you wouldn't just use one side of your brain. You have to the left and the right need to work the fuck together. That's what needs to happen everywhere. Because the lefts are very good at socialism, shit like that. The right's very good at, rational thought, treasury, money, all that shit. In an ideal world, they'd just fucking both work together and, we'd have some balance. But the problem is balance, divide and conquer, right? If you have two groups of people constantly fucking fighting and you can divide them and make them hate each other, the people doing that are always going to win. That's why it's so hard for the left and right to work together, because it doesn't work in either of their favours. Anyway, that's another thing. But I can see why you wouldn't want to vote for Hillary. And I could see, for your average American, the appeal of Trump, like, yeah, I'm going to bring jobs back to the country. I'm going to drain the fucking swamp. But as I was saying before, he's in that kind of elite group. He's part of the fucking swamp, guys. You can't drain something you're fucking part of. Same in this country, when even Labour people that have been to fucking Eton stand up there and say, yeah, like we're going to protect the NHS. You can't protect something you don't use. Like if you go and get your private medical treatment, you send your kids to private school, you're not going to give a fuck. Does that make any sense? I don't know. It's so hard. Right, where were we? Basically, in summary, the ideal solution would be for the right and left to work together. It will never happen. They want to keep us fighting. They want to keep us fucking calling each other names and tearing each other to shreds in the media because we're occupied. We're busy doing that. We're not thinking about what's going on behind the scenes. It's, yeah, anyway. Right. Kathy, at least you will say that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Like many Trump supporters, we have the same here. We call them shy Tories. They'll be very quiet and then they'll go vote for the right-wing parties. And, you know, fuck it. Like, some people have more right-wing views than others. I'm not going to sit here and try and convince you otherwise. That's not my job. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be divisive. I'd rather like hear your opinion on things and give mine, if that makes sense. I hate left-wing people, and the problem we have in the left as well is the media are putting spotlight on the extreme left, and they're a bunch of fucking crazies, man, and it's embarrassing. Anyway, the war in Syria is the US-Saudi cartel fighting the Russian-Iranian. Yeah, exactly. And you know, I'm not going to get started on Yemen, but put it this way, Britain is very much guilty of propping up the Saudis and have been for generations. Nation states are new, tribalism never dies. So true. So true. I mean, go back in history, you know, you had the Vikings coming in and, you know, the killings of the Syrian people is horrific. Yeah. And then what's going on in Palestine as well, and what really scares me is we're not seeing anything. For some reason, the media has a blackout on houses been demolished, neighborhoods been demolished, kids been killed. It's scary. That's why I left the media. I don't like it. I know this is going to sound crazy, Lexi, but this was prophesied long ago in the Bible. Ezekiel's. Okay. Can someone... Have you got a quote of that? I'd like to read it. Is it similar to the Age of Aquarius thing, Jana? Hi, by the way. Sorry for the big rant. I don't trust any politician. I voted for Trump because I've been tired of the same old. Of course, there's no way another Clinton was getting my vote, right? Okay, yeah, I get what you're saying for real. See, this is what I like. I like hearing from normal Trump voters rather than the sort of people that go on like my personal Facebook and call me like a communist slag, as you saw earlier. Those sorts of people. Because then it's like I'm hearing your point of view and I'm getting it. And without name calling or that shit. Like, there's no need for that. That's what they want. Like, it's crazy. I can see why people wouldn't vote for Hillary. I mean, it's too shady. I mean, Bill Clinton, he's very much loved in Northern Ireland because he did a lot for Northern Ireland. They're fucking loved in Morocco. It's insane. I think his daughter married a Moroccan guy or something. But Morocco bloody loves the Clintons. It's weird. Drones need both left and right wing supply. Yeah, exactly. Lexicographer. Lexicographer. I can't talk. I'm so tired, guys. Hi, Rick. The hate in America is out of control. No one wants to listen to opposing views. Yeah, that's so true. It's getting there here, sadly. And I think what's happening here, which is very, very sad, I'll get emotional, is we have an older generation that aren't listened to. And they're quite resentful. They've seen their country change a lot. They put a lot of faith in Tony Blair, and he fucked them over, so therefore they're very distrustful of Labour. And I think they're using that and taking it to the polls and doing things like Brexit and doing things like voting in Theresa May by a fucking hair's breadth. She got in. And then the younger generation, who are very angry that we've been priced out of buying our own houses. Like, I can't buy it. You know, I'm not fucking on the bread line by any means. Like, I'm all right. Like, I'm okay. But I can't afford to buy a house in central London. Like, that's never going to happen. It's difficult. You've got two generations that are very angry at the minute, and they're both backing opposing ideals, and it's just fucking clashing and clashing and clashing. The thing is with Trump, I can see why people voted for him. I get it. I get the promises. I get the hey, let's try something new. Let's try someone out of that fucking sphere that isn't in a family connected to politics. But he's still in the establishment. That's the problem. I think you guys would have been way better if you put Bernie up against him. Yeah, you might think he's a little crazy. He's a little too left wing. But at least there's a fucking choice there. At least there's some difference. At least it's not like, hey, what's the lesser of these two evils? Like, I don't know, like, difficult. It's difficult. Here, I don't understand why anyone would vote in a Tory government. In a time of austerity, in a time where America and England are still in a depression, and no one's acknowledging it. That's the crazy thing. No one is acknowledging it. That's insane. Like, the funding's not going up for anything. They're selling off our NHS. Why on earth would they vote in a Tory government? I don't understand. Anyway, Trump left a billionaire lifestyle for what? That keeps me awake at night. He's gonna get a lot richer, trust me. Look at George Bush. I mean, when his daddy was in office, he sold things off right at the perfect time. He shorted his oil companies and made a fortune. Tony Blair made a lot of money in oil that year, unsurprisingly. Now he goes around America and gives speeches for like $100,000 an hour. Trump's going to be okay, trust me. He's making money, and he will continue to. The media is demonic. Yeah, it is. I've seen. Sorry, I'm taking off my shoes. If you're wondering what that noise is, I've seen some of the media there, and it's divisive. You know, you have your Fox, which is like, whoa, holy shit, this guy's shouting at me. And then you have like your, I don't know what you'd say, like CNN, like, hey guys, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's no, same as here really with our papers. You've got like the Daily Mail, which is like, rah, rah, rah. And then you've got like the Guardian, which is like, hey guys, let's buy some incense and like sing Kumbaya. Like, there's no fucking middle ground anywhere. We're meant to have the BBC, which is meant to be impartial. It's not at all, ever. Yeah, the media sucks. I think that's a worldwide thing. I go to Russia Today for a lot of news, and once you get over the fact that it's Russian propaganda, you do see quite a balanced view on what's going on in London, what's going on in America. Because, yeah, it's propaganda, but a lot of it's truthful. Media companies are just that. They are companies. They will focus on stories, generate clicks. Exactly, clickbait. I mean, there's enough of that on YouTube. Like, we all know what it is now. Like, you know, the more clicks you get, the more money. Bill Clinton lied to his country at the expense of Monica Lewinsky. Yeah, that was sick. I don't know if any of you guys have seen Monica Lewinsky's TED Talk. It's fucking amazing. I mean, what a woman. Imagine, like, okay, how old was she? 18, 19? I mean, guys, when I was 18, 19, I had crushes on my bosses. I had crushes on my teachers in uni. Imagine if you had, like, an affair with one and suddenly you got exposed to the world. How the fuck did she get through that? I will never know. Like, Jesus, we've all been there. Like, we've all had relationships we probably shouldn't have and shit like that. That was screwed up. But her TED Talk is brilliant. You have good on all sides. Some praise from it. Yeah. Yeah, promoting division. Totally for real. Yeah. It's a shame. I mean, it's a shame there's no just middle ground where people can just discuss ideas and solutions for shit. Be like, okay, I was trying to think of an American example. Immigration. You know, you get some left people, you get some right people, you get some middle people. They all meet up, discuss solutions, have a little vote. Boom. But no, it's all this like extreme, like ban them all, ban everyone. And then the left, let them all in, yay. And yeah, okay, I'm more on the left because I'm an immigrant. Of course, that's my bias. But there's never that fucking like middle ground shit going on. It's mental. I will check into it. Let's see. Also, prophecies of Syria as well. Yeah, Syria is a big feature in the Quran. A lot of this. Are you talking about the Bible or the Quran? A Muslim friend of mine sat me down and told me all the passages about like Syria and how Mecca it was formed and how Saudi Arabia isn't really what it's meant, what it's portraying. Loads of shit, crazy shit that I can't remember because I'm an idiot. But yeah, I'd love to look into that. Oh, I appreciate your views. Like, I'm not really too big on the whole God stuff. Like, I'm not really. I mean, I've got Buddhas behind me. I'm not a Buddhist. If I was a Buddhist, I wouldn't have Buddhas here. I just think they bring like good energy, and people buy them for me as well. So, like, what the fuck can you do? And people buy them. I do like a lot of Hindu philosophies. I like Buddhism, but I don't know. I was brought up a Catholic. That kind of puts you off religion for a bit. But yeah, I definitely believe there's like heaven and hell, but I think hell can be on earth. I think hell can be in your head. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. But yeah, I believe in spirits and all that shit. Anyway. Right on, Let's see. Great insight on the generational reality we're in. Heart goes out to the old and to the young who've come of age in an observed time. Right, Andre, yeah. I mean, I think from my generation, like late 20s downwards, it's tough. Because, you know, you're graduating during that financial crash and after. Tuition fees in America and England went up after that crash. They should have been brought down to encourage people into higher education. It's sad. I see, like, I've been in that trap as well. I've seen, like, some of my friends that are brilliant, so intelligent, get stuck in, like, fucking retail. And me, I'm stuck in, like, events. And it's so easy to get stuck because, like, I'm fortunate enough, like, my family will always help me out. I won't be homeless, like, unwillingly, so to speak. But there's people there that, you know, their family can't support them, they can't house them, and it's easy to get then trapped in a career you don't necessarily want to do. That, you know, you've got more going on than like working in a shop, but how do you get out of that because you need to pay your rent? Like, it's sad, man. And then the older generation, they've got to think about, oh shit, I didn't save enough for my pension. Oh god, I don't have enough for a nursing home. Who's going to look after me? Blah blah blah. Like it's sad. The world is it's a sad like sort of state of affairs at the minute. I don't know. I'm ranting again. Sorry guys. I need to take off my shoe. My feet are so sore. Like trust this idiot to wear like sandals to a protest instead of trainers. Okay. So exactly. Our own government assassinated JFK. I will never believe in our government. Well, yeah, JFK, Reagan was shot. I mean, your first president, Lincoln, wanted to change shit up. Bang, see you later, alligator. Like, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know. If you're into that, watch. I'll write his name here because I'm not allowed to put a link. Watch this guy, and he just explains it so amazingly, so well. But yeah, I mean to take out a whole fucking family, it's a bit much, isn't it? Like with the Kennedys, like what the fuck? It's insane. But yeah, that's the two big R families in the country. They won't allow change, which is scary because when you have like an idealistic person come along, like Jeremy Corbyn, like Bernie Sanders, that are essentially good people that want good, what the fuck happens to them? That's what worries me. Even Trump to a certain extent, if Trump doesn't play along, you know, I don't know. It's I wouldn't wish being prime minister or president on anyone. I think it's probably a scary job because I think once you get in there, do you kind of know who's pulling the strings? Are you made aware of which conspiracies are real, which aren't, or do you just sort of have to kind of blindly go along with things? Like, are you just the face and there's other things that play? I don't know. I choose to believe love outweighs the hate, otherwise we wouldn't continue to exist. That's very true, and that's the positive point. I know I've been like a Debbie Downer, but if you think about how much division there's been and, you know, how we all differ, be it politics, religion, whatever, at the end of the day, we're human beings. And you're right, love is a universal force. Love is everything. You know, it's humanity. But yeah, I think, I don't know, that's one of my theories on what the secret of the universe is and what we're put here to do. I just think we're put here to be nice to one another and love each other and be decent. Like, I don't know, that's what every religion kind of says in their own way. Like, it's I don't know, probably a bit of a hippie, but yeah, I totally agree. All you need is love. Is this one? Oh, thank you, Jana. Yeah, I do like to see both sides because I think it's dangerous if you become too ideological and you refuse to hear other people's opinions or look at the other side, because then you just become a bit of a fanatic, you know, you become a bit brainwashed because the left isn't right in everything, the right isn't right in everything. So, you know, I think we can all learn from one another. Yeah, the right might have elements I don't like. The left has elements I don't like. But I don't know. I think a lot of people now are just kind of in the middle, leaning towards one area. But there's such a division. It's like you almost have to pick sides. It's so strange. Yeah, we all need to pull together because the division is just all a big fucking distraction. Gross misogynist, yeah, that's true. And Blair, Tony Blair did that as well with Bush. You ban them all, politicians or just everyone? Rick, oh, Bible, okay. Kathy Jones, for the most part, I think we're together. It's just that some. Yeah, that's true. That's true in all walks of life. Yeah. Rick, like, you put the most random shit, man. Hey, Alex. Oh, thank you for real. Ali Pally. I live near Ali Pally as it goes. YouTube, Magdalene LBJ's girlfriend. Very interesting interview. LBJ. I'm so brain dead, you're going to have to explain that. LBJ. No. Tommy Robinson. Not a big fan, to be honest with you. Another one. I get it. I get, especially from where I live, there's a lot of angry young white guys. And I get why they'd see a guy like Tommy Robinson and they think, yeah, I agree with you, mate. Not for me. Not for me. I think he's very divisive. I think he's racist. I think some points I agree with. I agree that freedom of speech is important. I agree we're in danger of becoming a very PC culture, and I think that's dangerous. I agree with Jordan Peterson on that as well. But I think Tommy Robinson is very divisive, and I think he's quite dangerous. If you look into his past, he's a dangerous guy, and he's not for me. As an immigrant, like, he's not for me at all. Madeleine McCann was abducted by the Podesta brothers. Yeah, that goes back into the Pizzagate theory as well, which, to be honest, I believe. If you look at the sketch of the suspects in the Madeleine McCann case, it is very familiar. It's them. It's crazy. Love you, Lexi. Thanks for making this. Oh, I'll try. Rick, are you going to add to this association of colour humour? That's Rick, man. That's what he does. I mean, not always agreed with my presidents, but I've always respected my presidency. I wonder, as Americans, guys, do you think it's disrespectful for us to not want Trump to come here? From a Trump supporter kind of American point of view, do you think the protest was disrespectful? Yeah, he is. Gag army. Lyndon Baines Johnson. Ah, okay. I'm going to watch that interview then, Kathy. Interesting. Yeah. Please don't report me to the cyber, please. I mean, I really don't want to go into Tommy Robinson on here, Rick. Like, I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like what he's about. I agree with 2 points of his, but I'd really rather not. He's not my bag. He's speaking tomorrow in London. I won't be going. Yeah, exactly, Kathy. Yeah. I mean, okay, this is interesting. Do you think that what's her name, Kathy Griffin, should have been so severely punished for holding up like mask of Trump's head, the blood thing? Do you think that was a direct threat to his life? Do you think she should have lost? I personally don't. I think she's a comedian. People have done shit like that before. I understand it's a sensitive thing because of the whole ISIS shit. Interesting enough, the name ISIS goes back to Freemasonry. I'm not going to go there with everyone. It's your country, do what you want. I like disrespectful politics. Okay. Yes and no, okay. No, she's a comedian, that's what. Yeah, I thought that was. She lost a lot. She lost kind of her New Year's Eve spot. She lost her program, I think it was CNN, right? Was it CNN? I thought that was a lot. put it online was overboard. But then, Rick, you think Tony Robinson's... I don't know if you're a supporter of him, but he's all about free speech. This is what I mean. It's like, this is what I'm trying to get past, because I'm so guilty of this. Sometimes, I noticed this when I went to see Jordan Peterson, like, sometimes I let my personal bias get in the way of, like, logical thinking, because naturally, not the way I've been brought up so right-wing and Catholic, but the way my brain thinks is very left-wing and socialist and liberal. But the way I want to be is kind of logical and be able to look at things from both sides. And I just find sometimes, like, when I see things, my personal bias gets in the way. I don't know. Right. I believe she deserved punishment. Okay, look at Roseanne. She got completely shut down, but Peter Fonda threatens Trump's 11 years. I'm not aware of the Peter Fonda thing, to be honest with you. But he doesn't post decapitated heads, though, Lex. Sorry, Lex, just subbed and wrote your 333 subs. Damn it! No! That was my symbol to the Illuminati. I was like, 333, I'm ready. Take me. I'll be your next whatever puppet. No, I won't. Please don't. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna. That sounds interesting, Kathy. Rick, to be honest with you, about the Tommy Robinson thing, a lot of shit I've read has been on Facebook, and we know with Facebook, I have a lot of left-wing friends. It's going to be an echo chamber. For me to be able to talk properly about it, I'd like to break out of that and go read about him further, because I don't want to sit here and just spout propaganda at you. I'd like to have a more educated point of view. So if we can, like, I'll go read up on it from fucking everywhere, and then we'll do a Tommy Robinson debate, me and you. How does that sound? That's another thing, guys, like Facebook. I watched the Adam Curtis documentary, amazing filmmaker, by the way. But he's so right, like on Facebook, depending on your friends, you just get this fucking echo chamber. So all of my friends today were just like reposting Jeremy Corbyn shit and anti-Trump stuff, and because obviously that's who I'm friends with, but it's just the same messages coming round and round and round again, and you never get an outside source. Does that make sense? I don't know how to describe it, but I think that's becoming very dangerous, because that's, again, like dividing people. Yeah, so I don't know. And then when you want to try and find independent content, it's so hard, because I know it as a journalist. It's hard. It's so fucking hard not to write with a bias and put a slant on things and put a little spin on things. And then if you don't do it, the fucking editor will do it. So, I mean, it's difficult. If I won the lottery, I would love to set up like a truly independent like news organization. But we wouldn't get anywhere because, anyway, let's not go there. Not a Tommy lover, however, he makes valid points. Okay, we'll do that, Rick. Let me read up on him, because, as I've said, a lot of the stuff I've seen about him has been from Facebook and shit. It would be much better to act in a civil manner instead of going all psycho crazy and shit. Yeah, for sure. And the left's guilty of that. I mean, the extreme left are fucking mental. And the extreme right are mental. And the problem is, those mental people are the ones that get the spotlight and they get all the press. So the extreme left will shine a light on the extreme right. The extreme right will the left will shine a light on the extreme right. And then the right will shine a light on the extreme left. So we just think, as opposing people, oh shit, they're fucking crazy. When then most of them aren't. Like, I don't know. It's all fucked. But whoever said it before, I think it's for real, said it. Like, it's all about love and compassion and understanding. Yeah. Peter Fonda, a Hollywood has-been with the new Sony movie, tweeted that Baron Trump 11 years old should be, okay, no. See, on a human level, like, that's someone's child. That's not right. But as we know, people in Hollywood get away with shit and have done for a long time because they're so well connected. It'd be different, I'd say, if a comedian said that, but yeah, that's not right. I wouldn't say that about anyone's child. The algorithms on the social network are huge of today's, but yeah, exactly, Andre. It polarizes people because they're only seeing their point of view and they're reinforcing each other constantly. Yeah, it's polarizing completely. No consequences. Well, that's Hollywood. I mean, people knew about. Listen, I'm gonna level with you. I am a fucking nobody. I am no one in London. I'm no one special. I'm average. I'm nothing. I've dated some people that are probably, I don't know what they'd be considered. Famous, not even famous, infamous. I don't know what you call them. I've dated some people like that, but I'm nothing. How is it I knew about Harvey Weinstein like years ago? How is that? How is it when I went to LA, someone warned me? Like, it's a well-known thing. You don't go. Courtney Love fucking said it in an interview as well years ago. You don't go to hotel rooms with him. You don't leave parties with him. You don't get involved with him. Like, it's well known. And I'm fucking no one. Like, I'm no one. It was such, these things are such open secrets. I'm scared to even say some of the shit I know. Like, there's directors in Hollywood still working that are known paedophiles. That's so fucked. How is it going on still? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And Harvey Weinstein's fucking punishment was to go to like a yoga ranch. The fuck? It's Jimmy Savile. Here's another one. I think all Americans know this case, right? Jimmy Savile. People in the British media knew for fucking years. I knew. I'm no one. I've just interned and worked at local papers and fucking like shitty old publications. I knew. Like what? It's mental. It's crazy. It's crazy what's going on. The Catholic Church in Ireland, everyone fucking knew. For years. Years and years. I don't know. It's something about power, men. I don't want to say the patriarchy, then I sound like I'm a mad feminist, but there's so many open secrets and I hope they all come out. But anyway, that's enough about that. What I'm saying, Kathy, is Hollywood directors and powerful people in Hollywood control the media because they're best friends with all of them. They get a free pass, trust me. It's sick, but it's true. Hey, Ray Ray. Crossing the line is one for Rosanna. The young guy is next. The guy that played Leon. Leon's a very strange film, man. Have you seen that film? It's, I don't know. There's a weird vibe. Don't get me wrong, we probably see many of the same things, but the rules of internet political persuasion are subtle. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, there's people's names I, as a nobody, am scared to say on YouTube to what, 5 of you, 6 of you max, and That's worrying. Only solution is to watch a hobo's wizard's journey across the American Southwest. Exactly, exactly. And that is the solution, to just go and live off the land if you can. It's not possible. Not everyone can do that, which is sad. But I mean, I think that's the way a lot of people are going to go, because they're just not going to subscribe to the shit that's going on anymore. I think a lot of people are seeing through democracy and, constitute, all of it. I don't know, wars. Who will be? I don't know, Rick. I don't know. I can't think of one off the top of my head. I can think of people that make quite questionable artwork and hang around with questionable people. But as far as them doing something, I can't think of one. Yeah, the new Facebook commercial. Fake news, eh? What is fake news? What is news? What's news? So what's fake, what's real? Who decides? That's why I couldn't work in it anymore. Because I didn't like the manipulation involved. You guys in the UK have way more privacy than we do. I don't know about that, guys. We have CCTV cameras everywhere. Our data laws have just changed. I don't know. I know you guys don't have as many cameras. There's a camera everywhere in the UK, especially in London. Maybe if you lived more in the countryside, I think you'd be okay here. But in London, there's no privacy. Our laws changed too after 9/11. Put it that way. It's so weird, man. Things, I can't remember what bill it was. It was something to do with banks being able to track your transactions. Now, before 9/11, everyone went crazy about it, and it got rejected. After 9/11, they just slipped it through with that bill they put through. I can't remember the name. So yeah, a lot of privacy laws that were previously rejected in the interest of national security after 9/11, because all those bad terrorists, they needed all your information, and same here. Crazy, eh? So yeah, we don't have much more privacy than you, and we're on camera everywhere. If you're in London, you're always on camera. They can track you around the city, on the tubes, on the buses, on the streets. There are cameras everywhere. It is like big brother here. Well, I'm way behind. News is propaganda. Always look to see who's publishing it. That's true, but I went to work for quite a respectable paper here that I really believed in. And it was just like, same old shit. Same old, same old. I used to like The Independent here, but even that wasn't truly independent. The Evening Standard now, the free paper, is run by George Osborne, who's an ex-Tory, like, deputy leader, was he? George Osborne, yeah, David Cameron's chancellor. It's just nuts. Like, why are politicians going into, like, media? Fucking, probably the same over there. Murdoch pretty much controls the papers here. They said Murdoch can put whoever he wants in government. C-SPAN, Paul. Mark Zuckerberg. Does anyone else think there's just something off with that guy, man? I can't put my finger on it. He's just a little bit, I don't know, something off with him. There are cameras everywhere here too. The government has spy satellites everywhere. Everything we do on our computers and phones is tracked. It's true. I mean, what really shook me up was when Snapchat came out and everyone was scanning their fucking faces. Why? Why? That scares me. And Google has bought the patent for a watch that can take blood from you without a needle. Why? Why does it need that technology? I don't know, man. I predict they'll want us to have identity chips in our hands soon, and if that happens, I'm running away somewhere. But yeah, that Snapchat thing, when like little young 14-year-olds are, getting their face scanned, and then don't forget everyone's sending off their DNA now to a company owned by Google to find out where you're from. I don't know. It's all a little bit sketchy. I really wanted to do one of those DNA tests because I'm adopted, so I thought it'd be fucking cool to see where the fuck I'm from. I'm like a mongrel, like literally a citizen of the world. I know I'm part Irish, that's about it. So I would love to get one of those DNA tests, but I'm so fucking wary of sending my DNA to, what is it, 23andMe, owned by the partner of the person that owns Google or the sister or some shit. I mean, they own YouTube too. It's like this, you can't escape it. Anyway, I'm probably going down the rabbit hole, but I don't know. And then it scares me because I've got like negative blood. And I remember when I was at school, they really wanted to know if you had negative blood. It's just like, what? Like, there's so many weird things going on. I don't know. 9/11, another government job, yeah, for oil and to put in laws and I don't know. Track people with their cell phones here. Whereabouts are you, Ray Ray? In America? I mean, here, even to go on like the YouTube app, like they ask for your location, and it's like, why? why do I need my location on? It's I don't know, looking crazy. Nip into the shop. Okay, he's probably been and gone, but okay, Rick. Good stream it, so you gotta run. Take care, everyone. Don't let your bag drag. I won't. Thank you for real. And you've got such a good point. It's all about love, compassion, understanding. That's all we need. Like, oh, look, triangle, Illuminati confirmed. It's just all about love and compassion at the end of the day. He's right. We did it to ourselves. Humanity gave up freedom for comfort long ago. Not just our phones, but modern TVs, cars, smartwatches are full of microphones constantly recording. It's very true. It is true. I've got a smart TV downstairs, and even when it's off, it's listening. Like it just turns on and shit. Yeah. And then who else gets like their Siri just pop up randomly when the phone's locked? And I mean, have you seen that thing where that guy was talking about cat food and then all of a sudden he had an advert for cat food on Facebook and this, I don't know. I think advertising is probably the least of our worries, to be honest. Snapchat filters are such obvious facial recognition software. DNA bioweapons, yay. Yeah. I mean, the Snapchat thing scares me. Just because when you put your face up to that filter, it maps your face. It's not just like, oh, we'll just sling some cat ears on your head. It's mapping your face, man. Like you can see it, the grids and the lines and I don't know. I mean, and it's mostly young kids that use Snapchat. So DNA bioweapons. Yeah, it does. I don't know why they want people's DNA stored, if that makes sense. Why does it need to be stored? Why can't you give someone their ancestry results and then just get rid of the DNA? Why do they need to store it? They have probably millions now stored. What for? Are they gonna clone people? Are they gonna profile people? I mean, that worries me. DNA is like, it's you. It's everything that's intrinsic of who you are. I, scares me. Why is the cloud so important? Gotta have. Yeah, it's true, Andre. They need to store all that data somewhere. Can't lose hope though. It's fun after you get over the heartbreak of losing the world you thought you grew up in. Awareness is expensive, worth the cost though. Very true. Very, very true. They're using facial recognition software in airports here. No ID required. They know who you are already. That scares the shit out of me. That's scary. There's a lot of conspiracy theorists. Do any of you guys remember watching like science fiction films where you'd see stuff like that? You'd see like someone opening a door with like their face and or their eye, or you know, in a lot of cartoons they showed the twin towers falling. I can't remember. There's a name for it. A preemptive, or it's a form of subliminal messaging where they're preparing children and kind of young adults for what's to come. Like yeah, exactly, Andre, programming us. If you think how horrific certain things have been, it's weird how we've got over them. Like shit like that should, as animals, as a mammal, we should have gone a bit crazy and a bit, I don't know, I'm not saying like, oh, we didn't grieve enough or whatever, but when shit happens, we go to work the next day. I remember going to work the next day after like the London bombings on the tubes. I got back on a tube. What the fuck? Who does that? What animal would do that? What normal mammal would think, okay, yeah, I'll just go back on the tube to work then? It's almost like we've been trained to just, oh, this is gonna, I don't know, that's probably way out there. Some of you will get what I'm saying, some of you will just think I'm mental. But I don't know, yeah. I just remember as a kid seeing like science fiction films with like people scanning their faces and scanning their fingers to get into things and scanning their eyes and thinking, oh my god, it's so futuristic and cool. And now it's just like, whoa, that's scary. And now in things you'll see like people with like chips like here or here, and they'll be scanning, and then that's going to be the next thing. And we'll be so normalized to this shit that we won't, well, most people won't realize that it's dangerous, man. Anyway, the airport thing, Ray, that scares me. I don't know. Employers are going to use DNA in the future to hire employees. If your DNA has a history of sickness, they won't hire you. That's a good point. That's a very good point. And how fucked is that? None of us are, I mean, okay, I smoke, I can't really talk, but none of us get to choose what kind of bloodline we come from. None of us choose whether our family has a fucking history of Alzheimer's. Like, it's fucking genetics. And imagine how many people get a disadvantage because of that shit. Even more so than now, probably. I mean, Jesus. I mean, employers are bad enough, man. I mean, I was like managing a health shop and I had a seizure like in the back room. And they were like, okay, well, are you ready? Can you come back to work now? And I was just like, no, it's mental enough already. Like, I dread think how it's going to be in the future, man. But I don't want to make this like a really downer stream because I had such a good day that some employees are using the Right under Hollywood programming, that's the word. Some employers are using the chips in the employees here now. No way. That's scary. Oh my God, Joanne. Hi. Just wait for the children who were raised with smartphones and constant internet connection come of age. Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping that rather than be vacuous, insecure, Instagram obsessed little kids, they're going to be like truth seekers because they've kind of had access to the truth. It's going to go one of two ways. We're going to have either a really insecure, fucked up Generation Z, or we're going to have like an amazing, like, you know, truth seeking generation. But what's scary is the shape. Like, we're evolving again. The shape of kids' thumbs is changing. I think it's getting flatter and double jointed because of smartphone use from a young age. Like, that's mental. We're evolving. It's like that's like a whole other singularity brand. But yeah, that's weird. That freaks me out. Because I see like my nieces and nephews on the iPad when they were young, man, when they were like really young, and they're just like like quicker than me. It's just like, what the fuck? I believe those companies will sell DNA to the highest bidder, testing weapons, cloning, etc. Yeah, I mean, there's a big. I mean, I don't know how much I believe it, but there's a big group of people that think celebrities are cloned already. Which, you know, to be honest, nothing surprises me anymore. I mean, there's those famous things. I think the last one to do it was Cardi B, where they just fucking zone out. They're like this for ages, and then they'll like snap out of it. But yeah, there's like so many people that think there's cloning happening already, and that certain music videos allude to it and shit like that. I don't know. I mean, it wouldn't surprise. Nothing surprises me. Nothing anymore, to be honest. Oh, Joanne. By the way, you can be sure that your face was recorded at the protest today. You will be in a database of radicals now. Oh, I'm already in that database. Don't you worry. I wore sunglasses like this, and I had, where's it gone? I had like a little mask over here. But yeah, like, what can you do? I think they got the first protest I went to was the Iraq War protest in 2005, I think. That was the biggest one. Then I went to the student protest, but there was riots at the end, and a friend of mine got kicked by a horse. It was a whole thing, police horse. And we got like kettled into like a small area. I'd say I'm pretty much on that database. Some of the people as well I'm friends with on Facebook are in a group that goes to protests, and yeah, so I know everything. It's sad though. It's sad that you have to, like today. I thought, how sad is it that I have to bring water, a scarf, glasses in case it kicks off, and in case I get like whatever, not pepper spray, but you know, yeah. But thankfully, it was really good, and there was no trouble. Touch wood, there won't be tonight. Ever look at a blank smartphone screen and think of the black cube of Saturn, or is that just no? I'm there with you. I mean, there's a whole other theory about the fact that why are all the pictures of the moon black and white? Like, no one's ever taken a fucking colour photo. They've sent up like HD cameras there, but yet all we get is this grainy black and white shit. What is up there? Like, what's up there? Anyway, but I think I don't know. I'm not going to go on my alien rant, but yeah. I've been listening to this for a little bit. Weird stuff. Why does someone having your DNA or facial recognition scare you? What do you think that end result is of all of this? Anyone can answer. scares me because it's an invasion of privacy, number one. Number two, why do they need to store DNA and face mapping? Why do they need that? You know? I wouldn't mind if I went on Snapchat now, put my face on the app, and they deleted all of it after I'd used it. But they don't. They keep it. They store it. Same with the 23andMe thing. I want to so much give my DNA and find out where I'm from. But what scares me is you have to agree to all their terms. And one of their terms is store that DNA. Why? And I don't think anyone can conclusively say, oh, it's for cloning. Oh, it's for weapons. Oh, it's to build fucking clone soldiers out of. Oh, we're going to share this with advertisers, employers, do like weird socio-demographic research with it. But it's the fact we're not told that scares me, if that makes sense. And the fact they can sell your face map, sell your DNA, I don't know, it's weird. I was at the Battle of Berkeley last year, saw lots of undercovers and police recording faces everywhere. Yeah. And I know today when I was doing my live stream, a few people looked at me like, but obviously I'm not one. You can tell them. You can definitely tell. They're the ones that look like undercover police officers, you know? And that's the scary thing as well. We as humans in a democratic society should have the right to protest. We should kind of have the right to some anonymity. And that doesn't mean that you're doing dark stuff and you've got loads of fucking skeletons. It just means that, I don't know, like, why do you need to record my face? Why do you need to track my movements around London? I don't get it. Control is the end result. Yeah, I guess. Control and manipulation, yeah. They want our DNA and faces for the government roundup of civilians. Well, that's a big argument. I mean, people thought I was crazy when I looked into it here, but I mean, a lot of people are thinking it now. The FEMA camps, Smart Law, Walmart, all of that. This is very weird. I don't understand what the excuse could be for that shit. I mean, I've never been in a fucking concentration camp by any means. But I've gone round to the museum of one, and the chain link fence. I mean, throughout history, there's always a tipping point, and I worry that we're going to kind of tip the wrong way. So if we do, just go to Ireland. That should be fine. Or Switzerland, they stay neutral, right? What worries me is whatever America does, the UK tends to follow, if that makes sense. So when I read about these FEMA camps, I think, okay, where would they put them here? What's big enough here for them? Well, we have equivalents. We have Tesco's, we have Asda, which is owned by Walmart. We have massive supermarkets. So, yeah, it's worrying. It's worrying. And when people like, I'm getting on a bit now, as you guys know, I'm not young by any means. And when people say to me, oh, why haven't you had kids yet? And, oh, you should have kids. Don't get me wrong. I would fucking love to have kids. What worries me is what kind of world are we leaving to those kids? Like, it's all a bit, I don't know. That's a bit dark, but I hope that the good prevails. Okay, I'm so behind, sorry. Call me, please. I need a helper or scapegoat. Oh my god. So if it were for all of the above, what part is intruding on us, or how would it not necessarily affect on everyday life? It's just the fact that we don't know what it's been used for yet. And one day we might have a big surprise when we see like our clone fighting in North Korea or some shit. Do you know? We don't know. You don't know. Stranger things have happened. Like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. The thing that bothers me, Joanne, is why do they need to keep the DNA? The hippie side of me, not hippie, that's the wrong word. The logical side of me thinks this is probably for marketing purposes and like doing socio-demographic research on the populations of the world and, you know, research on immigration, how things have moved, where people have moved to and things like that. But then the kind of conspiracy side of my brain is like, we're all going to be cloned. You know, I don't know. I'll have to wait and see. I mean, both options are pretty shit, you know. Okay, yeah, that's it, because it has got pretty dark, Andre. You're right. You're right. I don't want to bring it down. Ways to stay happy in the face of such unrelenting facts. I love talking about this stuff, but we can all see the toll it takes on those who are not prepared to see the reality. Okay, and that's true. That is true. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. When I first, I hate the word woke. What a shit word. When I first started researching and stuff and went down the rabbit holes, it affected me a lot. A lot. And then I had personal trauma I was dealing with. So what do you cover that shit up with? Well, you did cover it up with like being kind to people, doing yoga, that shit. I chose drugs, which is a shit solution. Don't do that. You'll end up in a world of poverty and hurt. I do not recommend that for anyone. So positive things to do. Go to protests, whatever side of the fence you're on. Make sure you're safe. Make sure they're, you know, secure. But meet like-minded people. Talk to like-minded people. Share ideas. Talk to people from the opposite point of view with compassion, love, and understanding. Talk to anyone and everyone. Share ideas. Meditate. Meditation is, honestly, I don't want to sound like such a fucking hippie. When I went to that palm reader the other day, he said something that really struck me. And I think if you're on YouTube, you might be similar. If you watch a lot of YouTubers and things like that. When I'm out in the city, when I come back, I'm depleted. All my energy is gone. And he said it's because I take on everyone's energies. And I do. It sounds mental, but if you get it, you'll get it. And I feel it. And when I come home, I'm fucking exhausted. And I'm socially anxious anyway. So it's such a big fucking deal for me to be out there and doing shit that I'm just fucking done for like a day when I come back. And he showed me like chakra. There's loads on YouTube. It's brilliant. And opening up and closing down chakras, and it's like a hypnosis / meditation. It's like, okay, I'm not that girl that's like, yeah, meditation solves everything. It's so cool. Like, I'm not Russell Brand. That's not me. Like, but this fucking works. Like, it works. It's almost like you're hypnotizing yourself, and you just get rid of like all that shitty energy, all that anxiety, all that fucking bullshit that I think most of us carry around with us all the time. Like, that really helps. And then another hippie bullshit thing, yoga, Pilates, whatever exercise you like, that helps because it's endorphins and it's like almost like a natural high. I think there's so many addictions in the world. It's because everyone's functioning on such a high anxiety level. Everyone I know is anxious as fuck, and we're all over analyzing things, and we're all seeing what's going on. And I mean, social anxiety is bad enough, let alone in like a shitty political climate or when you have like personal shit going on. So yeah, that's two things I'd really recommend. Self-love. I think the age we're in, it's so easy to get wrapped up in all the bullshit of Facebook and instant gratification and consumerism and psychology being used as a weapon against us in advertising. And you have to buy, eat, drink, consume all this shit all the time. And then the beauty industry and Instagram and how many likes am I going to get and how many, all that bullshit. I think, yeah, there's a lot that could cause people serious insecurity. And I think if you practice like self-love, that shit can't hurt you, because you don't need a fucking designer handbag because you don't give a fuck. If that makes sense. I don't know, maybe that's a girly point of view. What's some other good thing? I'm really trying, Andre. Another good thing to do, nature. Just wandering around, even if it's like the tiniest fucking garden, like growing a plant, fucking hug a tree, whatever you need to do, like get in nature, because there's no advertising there, there's no bullshit there, there's no propaganda there, it's just trees and shit. And that's fucking magical. That's something no fucker can take away from us. No one. Is our affinity with nature. So yeah, that's all I got. I'd love to hear like your guys' thing, like your suggestions, because my brain is fried as per usual. Okay, let's go. Let's read through. I'm a historian. Trust me, it's going to happen. Yeah, it's scary. What happened? UK Rozzers. Yeah, they're coming to get me, Rick. Rick, I've heard you're actually really nice on your live streams. Is this true? It's all tied to the Illuminati and the New World Order, Joanne, bottom line, corporate die. Yeah, well, guys, I'm sorry for that. Most of it comes from this little fucked up island here. Our bad. It's not actually my island, but the UK. I mean, the Enlightenment, that's when it all started sort of kicking off in the coffee houses. Let's start Freemasons, Knights of the Round Templar, all that shit. That's what's scaring me at the minute. At the minute, well, for years now, not at the minute, I keep seeing that number 33 or 333 everywhere, and it fucking scares me. That's why it was so weird when my subscribers were at that. I was like freaking out. They aren't going to put us in FEMA camps. They're turning all Western major cities into the camps instead. The cage you don't know you're in is harder to break free from than razor wire. True. I can see what you mean by that. But the anagram of Walmart just fucked my life up when I heard that. That blew my mind. An example of what they can do with Facebook did by selling everybody's information. The companies and governments use that info to target people to sway their vote. This is how Trump got elected. Perfect point, Ray Ray. That's, yeah, exactly. Just selling data and sketchy manipulation, propaganda, bullshit. Yeah, Andre, you're like, whoa, blown my mind. Well, as a father, I think the world will be all right if we teach our child to watch out for the crazy people and love and respect each other. That's true. Yeah. Oh, I think it was Andre that said about the research. But yeah, I mean, it does, especially if you're going through your own shit and you look into all this shit. It does fuck your head up. And I mean, my mom, bless her, like she's a lot older. She's like 70. She doesn't want any part in it. If I try and tell her about a conspiracy theory or my political views, she does not want to hear it. And who can blame her? Ignorance is fucking bliss, as they say. It's better to not know sometimes. Oh, I love you too, Paul. I'm really not. I'm not gangster. Trump's election is far more complex than just Facebook. The way I want to see Joanne's. The way I see things is the world travels in circles, inside circles, inside circles, and human nature compels us to always want to know What's behind the next door, and if we can get in right away, we all seem to want to think the worst. That's very true. That is true. And I have to admit, when I studied journalism, it was drilled into me, question everything, question everything, question everything. So I have that kind of brain anyway. When you add like YouTube and conspiracy theories into the mix, I mean, that shit just explodes. I smoked weed every day for a decade, protected me from the anxiousness, but I stopped in 2017. Why did you stop, Andre? That's interesting. A lot of people I know are stopping because of like spiritual practice. They feel that it's blocking them. Or then a lot of people I know now are taking it up for like medicinal reasons. But yeah, Andre is the man. I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. Andre? Let's see, did you have a sign that said even my mum thinks you're a knobhead? No, but I was very near that sign. There was a girl who's very, very tall and she has the same hair as me. I think you could be thinking of her. Oh, I'm okay. So, right on Letsy, so true. Overstimulation and the reduction of people to a personal brand, the beauty industry is fucked, yeah. And I've worked in that industry for one of the biggest brands, and it's not pretty. It disgusted me what goes on there, to be honest. And don't get me wrong, I fucking love makeup. I put a shit ton of it on my face, but the industry is fucked. It's an industry that profits off insecurity, which is it's dirty, nasty business. Self-love is useless. It's the people in the basement that really matter. I don't have a basement. I have an attic. Don't worry about the government and all that stupid stuff. Just do what makes you feel good and make yourself happy, and the government doesn't mean anything unless you let it. Yeah, to a point. To a point. But I think if we all think like that, we'll be happy, but the society will never change. I don't know. Insanity is my distraction, more hypo. Yeah, same for president, guys. Let's get him in office. I wish I could go back to the basement circa 2016. 2016. Was that a good year? I can't. What was I doing in 2016? I can't even remember, guys. It's 2 years ago. Oh, 2016 is not a good year for me, guys. It's fucking bad. But never think of the past like going back, go forward. Although I'd like to go back to the 70s and 60s. I've done legal stuff. I'm not in prison. Just don't be stupid. Yeah. I mean, the amount of people in prison here in America for like marijuana charges is a fucking joke. It's insane. It's mental. But hey, you've got to have a certain amount of prison, right? In prison, that's a business too. Mental. Well, I have to agree with you. You can make yourself crazy with all that stuff. With someone what you're doing there, I'll get it off a cup in a restaurant. They'll show you ways. Yeah, very true, Joanne. I can see that. Yeah, I have to say, like, I think it's mainly Zane people and Goonies people in here, and you're all like fucking awesome. All very intelligent. And it's not all right wing people, it's not all left wing people, it's it's a mix, and everyone's like been super respectful, everyone's like got different opinions. This is like what the world should be like, but it's not, sadly. No one's gonna clone me, they'll kill me first. I would like a clone personally. I don't know what I've wondered, if you get a clone, would you forget that you're you? Like, would you start to doubt that you're the real you? I don't know, like, that fucks my head up. I think that's like a Carl Pilkington quote or something. I smoked for a decade, abuse, right, don't need it anymore. Enough people are waking up that I don't feel as alone among my peers. Don't need the THC anymore to stay with. Yeah, that's true. And you don't even need the THC really to get the benefits. Like, if you get a high CBD oil or something. I do think with weed, people need to be careful. This isn't going to make me any friends, but it's a psychoactive substance. And I had an ex, the abusive one I always talk about, the nutter. And he was very prone to like schizophrenia, paranoia. He was very edgy. And when he smoked, he got so much worse. So I think weed is brilliant, and I think it's a good fit for some people. But the CBD, I don't think the psychoactive elements of weed are for everyone. But CBD oil is amazing. THC, I think people need to be very careful with. I love Westworld. Oh my god, I love Westworld so much. Love it. I'm sure. And in that, there was like, have you what? I'm not going to say anything in case like no one's seen the end of season 2, but there's a massive plot twist and it's so clever. Because the whole of season 2, I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, where is this going? It's so clever. I sound awake. Good for you. It's a nice feeling. Great stream, but I have to run later. Okay, bye, Jason. Thank you for hanging out. Here, I'm waiting for the new law to take effect to help me with my anxiety. Oh, cool, shout Oklahoma. We're a pretty cohesive mix of people for sure. The world could learn from us. Yeah, and everyone pretty much gets on. Okay, yeah, there's the odd Charles person and all of that, but I haven't seen any major blow-ups with people in the chat, ever. Oh my god, it's a Carl Pilkington fan, love it. Head like a fucking orange. I legit, no joke, I fall asleep to the podcast every night and have done for years. Something about like his voice like calms me down. It's so weird. I can't wait. The new series, Sick of It, is out soon. Can't wait. So Rick's a Pilk boy. Yay. Future's here. People will be getting cloned for a long time. If they can perfect cloning people and then find a way to transplant someone's brain, you can literally live forever. That's scary though, man. Like, I mean, Jesus. Live forever. Ugh. I'm out in California, been normalised legally out here. Really have some CDB edibles. Yeah, that's the perfect way to start, I think. Don't want to read out people's locations. I quite like Frankie Boyle as well. He's pretty funny, but Carl Pilkington, just like something about his voice as well, just calm down. Down the rabbit hole, and I've seen the distance. I will take the pain over human. Yeah. Smoke a joint and inflate your head, Rick. Anyway, the way things have been pushed forward, the supply is already here. So when these first cards issues the draw, that's good. But aren't they having problems in California with like the prices being like ridiculously high and taxes? And I worry that when it becomes legal in the UK, we're just going to be taxed to fuck. So there'll always be like a black market economy. The way that Lexi, how do you know which one? Yeah, that's what he says, right? How do you know? But there's a brilliant video, Rick, of like Carl Pilkington predictions where he like predicts Black Mirror episodes and everything. I don't think you're lying to yourself. Monkey knees. Count Goonies. Love them. They're taxing. This is the problem. Whenever like cigarettes here now are a joke. I just got a feeling that if we have a Tory government, when weed gets legalised, it's just going to be so expensive. I used to be a pothead and nothing but drug addicts, alcoholics in my life, so I quit. I won't be a hypocrite telling them to stop when they're doing it, but they're all gone and I'm at the end of my rope and won't live like this. Yeah, I mean, I almost see marijuana as like a separate drug. I don't know if that's hypocritical. I think it's less dangerous than alcohol, or cigarettes, depending how you smoke it. A lot of English people smoke it in a cigarette, but I think alcohol, I think is awful. And I mean, people die trying to come off alcohol. That's the fucked up thing. Um, I've known people that have been addicted to marijuana, but they're addicted to the THC, not the CBD. I don't know. It's a weird one because I have so much bias there. I can't talk about it objectively. Um, okay, South Haven, California. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. When I was in LA, I loved it, but it made me uncomfortable how vacuous the society is. How I could get a job for my accent alone. I mean, that's not right, surely to God. And how when you go on a date with someone, the first thing they tell you is their job title, where they live, and what car they have. I found that very strange. Um, it's a different. I'd say London's similar to New York. Not that I've been to New York, just from what I've seen. It's very fast paced, very work centric. A lot of history there, quite a lot of culture. LA, it seems very. I mean, I met brilliant people there. I love it there. I'd move there again in a heartbeat. But it's very image conscious. It's very even in kind of the hippie areas, like it's very image, 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 you know? What job do you have? What car have you got? That kind of freaked me out a little bit as a little insecure being over there. I don't know. Might be different now. I don't know. Um, oh God. Let's hope there's no other earthquakes. I've seen all Pilkington Bigs. He has a new series out called Sick of It. Yeah, it's amazing. It looks amazing with the trailer. I can't wait. I've missed him. I've missed his little round head. If you guys haven't seen anything by Carl Pilkington, like watch it. It's so funny, and I think it's the kind of humour that can translate because it's with some of the stuff's with Ricky Gervais, so I think it would translate. Grow your own. Yeah, good point. 6 plants. That's good. I hate California too, Andre. The homeless need to be taken care of. Yeah, that's true. Downtown California, man. That upset me. Like tent cities and. But we have the same here in London. They just don't have tents. They're in shop doorways. So what's worse? It's fucked. I can grow plants, Joe. I can grow no plants, Joe. Oh, so then you're going to set up a grow station in your tornado shelter. What an idea. You have to do that. Okay. Rick, there are air plants. There's some crazy fun up here in the northwest. Okay. Where, northwest of California or just northwest of the country in general? Auntie Nora, she had a traffic. Yeah. Oh, or when it was too windy for him to go to school. Cole Pilkington, love him. Very, very. I would, but I need some seeds. Yeah, you can buy seeds online. Oh, guys, the H3 podcast is live. Can't compete with them. They're funny. Man-moths. Tent cities all began in Silicon Valley, the home of Google, Apple, Facebook. Tell me how fucked up that is. Insane. That's dark. That's some dark shit, man. Considering how much money those companies have, like, what? That's some. Yeah, good. Not good. And I guess they've all been moved out of that area because, it's all gentrified now. Google has their nice swanky offices and yeah, crazy. Okay. Hi, Mike. Nice to see you. Right, I have to get your telling me which I need to get, and it just confused me in some quotes. It's yeah. Anyway, um, Gerard. Hi. But yeah, I should go soon, guys. I've been on here 2 hours. It feels like 2 minutes. It's insane. Woo! Dropping things. I'm a sweaty mess. But yeah, it was basically just a roundup of the protest, and then we got into bloody conspiracy corner. Corner? Conspiracy corner, and then all went a bit weird. But I'm probably gonna go get some food because I think that was a Freudian slip. I'm so hungry. 10:30 at night here. I'm having more fun talking to you all than a hobo with a pint of vodka. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sure there's another stream on. Who told you I was a nice person? Rick, the rumour's out there that on your streams you're a good boy. You're not trolling. You're nice. You're pleasant. The rumours are out there, Rick. California, love California. God, I'm Belle, fresh out of jail. Did you just make me rap? Like, because I just read shit like out loud without reading it, which is very dangerous to do on a stream. Like, I like the POV a lot more. Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, guys. Well, it's 10:33, so in true Masonic fashion, I better go. Go turn into a bat now and fly away. But it was so amazing talking to you guys. Like, can't believe how many of you are like so smart. And even like you know, where's my cigarette keep on? Like, I wish this damn ghost in this room would just stop. Um, Even though like some of us have different opinions, it's just amazing to hear like your thoughts and stuff. It's so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna light a candle. Yeah, someone picking up on the vibes. I'll play a record. I'll play a record so I don't get copyrighted when I'm gone. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Like, it's been so interesting to hear like your point of views on everything. I'm glad you don't think like the Trump thing's like an attack on Americans, because us Irish and Brits and whoever's love America. As you know, we like fucking go over there all the time. But yeah, I will speak to you all later. It's been so cool hanging out with you. Anyway, this is like me trying to do kisses and shit. I don't know if you can see. Okay, guys, I'll just leave the chat open for a bit so that you can like carry on if you want. But I need food. I'm wasting away. I'm not, you know.